All right, everybody, here we are on number 10. I know everybody's been following the construction on the golf course through the website and everything and the emails, and so we want to continue with that and start featuring what I think is a great stretch on the golf course, holes number 10, 11, and 12. And for the most part, as we all know here at Willow Oaks, this is the scoring area for our golf course right here. If there's an opportunity to make some birdies, this is the stretch that we're going to do it. I'm standing right here at number 10 fairway. We are about 150 yards from the middle tee to carry this fairway bunker right here. As you can tell, obviously the golf hole itself has been opened up quite a bit. The fairway bunker here certainly frames the hole itself. With just a minimum carry over this fairway bunker, it opens up to a large wide fairway down here, along with, you'll see a bunker about 30 yards short of the green. As you probably noticed, most golf courses need what I think is an exciting reachable par 4, and I think number 10 lends itself to be able to do that. This hole's really only defense is this bunker that's situated about 30 yards short of the green. As many of you know, these long bunker shots are obviously some of the hardest shots to hit, but again, I think this is the only defense that this hole has. And then you open up this wide fairway to where you have just a number of options of different shots to play going in. All right, we're here at the green on number 10 now, and like we were just talking about a moment ago, that we were out in the middle of the fairway. And one of the really big things I wanted to point out, and again, remember, this is a birdie hole, so this is an opportunity for us to really get some shots here. Now, coming in off the tee box itself, like I mentioned, carrying this fairway bunker over here, you can see though that the fairway is very generous, very large. And I think one of the great features that many of us who haven't really been on the golf course here during the construction phase, there is a tremendous amount of movement in every one of these fairways, and so that when you stand from the green looking back, you can really appreciate, I think, how much movement there's going to be in every fairway itself, and visually it's just absolutely beautiful. I want to point out one of the features here on number 10, and again, being a birdieable hole here, if you kind of notice, the fairways obviously are very large, but over here to the right hand side of the green where the approach shots are, or maybe even some of the drives themselves, there's kind of a little area here that's set up to where the mounding itself, if you miss the ball to the right hand side, that golf ball is going to funnel on down here towards the green itself. So I think that's really going to help certainly some of our shorter hitters to maybe have a chance to go for the green here. However, too, though, one of the things though that I think that they put in a design feature on this hole here itself is that for some of the longer hitters, there's a little bit more of an obstacle, I think, than there's ever been before, and that there's a substantial drop off behind the green here that might make some of the longer hitters really think twice about going for it. Hopefully that's going to be somewhat penalizing for them back there. Certainly should lend itself to an exciting hole. Okay, now after birdieing number 10, we're actually at number 11. Now, many of you probably don't realize this, but this golf hole is actually probably about 200 years old. One of the great features of this golf course that we have here, we actually have a hole which is modeled after a golf hole over in Scotland. The design itself is called a redan, and I think one of the exciting features about having a redan over here, and there's been a number of golf courses that have copied this same design, so it's got a lot of great historical value, but the feature of a redan is you'll be able to look at the green itself. Primarily, the entire green is slanted at a 45-degree angle here, more diagonal to the hole than anything else. As you also notice, just really kind of blocked and framed by a very large front bunker here on the left-hand side. And the entire right side itself, one of the great features of this architectural design here is that the balls that are hit to the right-hand side will often have an opportunity to bounce onto the green itself. Now, as you look at the design of the green, it might appear from the tee box that it's going to play somewhat very narrow for the simple reason that the green itself is sloping. From the regular men's tee, this hole is going to play about 185 yards. From the ladies' tee, about 120 yards, I guess. Probably the hardest pin placement on this hole is going to be front right, for the simple reason that you notice that the slope itself is obviously going to make that ball kick more towards the middle of the green. So I think this is going to be an exciting hole, and obviously a very beautiful hole as well. Okay, well, we just got through birdieing number 10, just like we'd mentioned. I was happy with making par on number 11 on our redan hole. Now we're kind of at number 12, and this is an interesting spot here. As you notice when the camera started off here, we've got some interesting rock I guess assemblies over here. What happened was, in the initial phases of I guess looking at the golf course, Lester George, our golf course architect, happened to look at this hole on number 12 and think that this mounting really didn't seem very natural. And so I was somewhat curious as to really why it appeared the way it did. Many of you probably know that most of our water resources comes from a quarry that we have over here, primarily producing granite and things of that nature right there. Well, we're here at the ladies' tee box here on number 12, or at least the proposed new one. And as you look, basically we've discovered in the process of trying to construct the new tee box a cache of all this granite stone that was dug out from the quarry itself. Now, one of the exciting things about this right here is, number one, is that there's a lot of resources and materials right here that we're going to be able to use on the golf course. Probably street value wise is about $50,000 in savings for us that we're going to be able to use on the golf course. It's going to be, I think, used in a lot of areas to position and to frame in some of the banks on around the creeks and things like that. So I think this is an exciting find for us. Now we're going to move up the fairway here on number 12, and our golf course superintendent Craig Fuller is going to talk to us a little bit about drainage.
We're standing in the middle of number 12 fairway. As you can see behind me, there's a standpipe or riser, black perforated tile that it's been placed in areas on the golf course strategically to help alleviate water. As you know, on number 12 there's no water body that we can create a swale to alleviate the water into. So in this case we had to put in drain pipes, and what the construction crew has done is they've excavated an area and sloped all of it down to the lowest point, and in this lowest point they put in a pipe that's interconnected with a series of 12-inch tiles that go across number 12, number 13, number 14, and eventually make their way down to number 15 in order to get surface water off the property more quickly, in order to have adequate drainage so we can play out here and not have to stay on the cart paths.
Okay, we're still here at number 12, and again, another great hole out here to really be able to hopefully make birdie. I think it's probably a number of our members' favorite hole out here, because at least gives us a chance on a par 5 to have a birdie putt, maybe even an eagle putt. Now, one of the things that Lester George, I think, has done here, this hole obviously is an exciting hole. We want to maintain it as a par 5, but a couple of things that he's really added over here, I think, to frame it in a little bit, is you've got a bunker over here that from the regular men's tee is going to be about 300 yards. Now, obviously, that's not in play for a lot of us right there, but it might make some of the longer hitters think about it twice. And then as you kind of go over here to the left-hand side, many of us probably have hit balls on the left-hand side of the tree line here, and the balls have kind of funneled on out into the fairway. Well, we wanted to make that a little bit more penalizing, and so we've got 2 fairway bunkers over here on the left-hand side that's going to catch some of the golf balls that either are going to be for the aggressive player trying to go over on the left-hand side, or maybe just for the occasional ball that was hit left into the trees over here. So it definitely frames the hole. It definitely pinches this fairway in much narrower, certainly making this a little bit more of a premium driving hole, and certainly with the distance this hole plays, I think that's its only defense once again. So hopefully this is another birdie opportunity for all of us right here.